Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world of professional wrestling, and welcome to the Groupchat Wrestling Podcast, episode number 83. It is the two-man power trip today of myself, that ball bro, and my friend Dan from across the pond. And I could think of no better way to start the show than, you know what, we have no plan today. Sometimes the best plans in life are no plans whatsoever.
No
There's
running
no script,
order
man. It's
at
live
all.
power. We're going right at it. So, Dan, why don't you take us away, man? What's been eating at your mind that you want to get off your chest?
Well, first of all, Brett, thank you again. Smashing intro. I've been off the main pod for a little while, as you know. I've sort of missed a few months here and there. I've had some stuff going on, but I've still been sort of like dissecting like wrestling. I've just sort of maybe just taking it at face value, and it's got me thinking about some things. So I'd like to just sort of make my glorious return to the podcast by delivering a little bit of a soapbox rant, if that's okay with you. So maybe take this time to go sit back, get comfortable, get a drink, and like let me sort of talk to directly, if I can, to Tony Khan and to Warner Brothers Discovery. If you do by any chance see this, just for a minute, because this isn't like a Twitter's being annoying thing again. And it's not nitpicking, certainly. It's a structural problem, and it's one that AEW has, for me, no excuse for anymore. So what I'm talking about, I was watching the Eve episode that Lucy and Alyssa very kindly did, which, by the way, Lucy says to everybody who sees this, thank you again so much for such a positive response to the Eve episode. She's over the moon with it, and as she's sort of recovering from her eye operation, she says she'll be back soon, wants to say thank you. But one of the things that they both said, which stuck out to me, was that the women in AEW often feel like an afterthought. And then they just sort of shrugged and they said, but that's okay. It is what it is, essentially. And honestly, like, no, like, it shouldn't be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. And the worst part is that AEW themselves have proven repeatedly that they're capable of doing so much better. Like, I mean, just look, we've talked about this before, but look at Tony Storm and Mariah May's feud from late 2024, early 2025. That feud was one of the most compelling stories on TV, full stop. It had everything. Like, it had character progression, it had emotional stakes, it had patience, it had payoff, it had a fantastic split, it had like excellent chemistry. It made Tony Storm like a star for life, if you ask me. And well, the less said about Mariah May since then, the better, I suppose. But I digress. But it wrapped up feeling meaningful. That's my point. It felt considered, and it proved that when AEW actually commits time and thought, the women don't just keep up; they often like outshine everything else on the show. And then another example is like Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale's feud, like months and months of tension and build-up leading to a real blood feud, which didn't revolve around the title. It was the novelty. Statlander and Stokely spent like half a year trying to destroy like the purest babyface in the company, and it reaches a fever pitch in like the summer of 24, and then I'm sorry, Andy, I'm stealing your thunder. She just turns babyface overnight without any explanation. No reckoning, no real resolution. And I agree. Like, but why? Like, well, I don't know the reason, but you have to assume that they suddenly needed like a challenger for Mercedes Moné like later that year. But the point is that it's not storytelling enough for me. Like that's shuffling pieces on a board and hoping we forget what we saw like a couple of weeks ago. It's the kind of stuff that we'd rightfully criticize WWE for, because they did it like all the time. I don't know if they still do, but especially with the women, they did it. And AEW, to me, isn't above reproach. And the frustrating thing is it's symptomatic of like a wider problem. Like, stories get teased, like tensions rise, and then just when it feels like it's time to pull the trigger, like everything stalls. So the Death Riders, like, but after trying to destroy the company and like every babyface in it, like before then losing the world title to Hangman, another drop ball there, but that's another story. But and the Derby feud like wilts away. It's insinuated like subtly that the Death Riders are going to tease kicking Moxley out of the group, and there's huge potential there. They dangle the carrot in front of us, like Mox goes on his tangents, but he keeps losing. and then the Death Riders are in the background looking like they could utterly obliterate him like at any moment. And that was a solid couple of months of teasers before Mox then just cuts like one babyface promo after winning the Continental title, and then suddenly they're like celebrating him, and we're no closer to that. They're still heels, and then now they're feuding with the Don Callis family, another heel stable, and it's like none of the previous little story beats mattered. Like Mox's whole idea was to fix AEW and then save it. But then the group believed that AEW had moved away from its like original vision of like raw competition and wrestling. They saw the product as becoming too corporate, whatever, and then and their goal was to reshape the company. And then the Garcia turn, just joining, like felt like it was months too late for it to like actually matter. The moment just like evaporates, doesn't it? The women like have it worse, like because they don't even get the time for the stories to stall properly. They're lucky if they get like 20 minutes altogether across like an entire like 2-hour show. Like one match minimum. It's usually an eliminator, usually like a placeholder, like usually feeding someone to a title match that they're obviously going to lose before the challenger carousel spins again, and we just pretend like this is progression. That's what's frustrating. Like AEW has a gold mine of women's talent, a lot of fantastic wrestlers who can go in the ring, some really good talkers, some really entertaining and charismatic talent who are improving like all the time. Talent who, given half the chance, can get over like organically, and yet they're asked to build characters and rivalries just like in fragments, like in 1/10 of the time that the men do, while the company continues to like sign more and more people without creating the space for them to actually like exist on TV. So personally, like, I'm not saying AEW hates women, like that's lazy and inflammatory, and that's just not true. It's just about asking them to sort of wake up and realize like what they're sitting on. You can't keep relying on the same like handful of success stories as like proof of concept that what while starving the division of like time and care. If they want to sort of be taken a bit more seriously, something which they're not afraid to do, they just need to sort of take this like to the next level, I think, and they need to stop being treated as filler between like men's feuds that might pay off one day. So it shouldn't be like an is what it is. It should be 100 times better, and they know how to do it. They just need to care enough for me. So that's my rant. I'm very glad I got that off my chest because I've been sitting on that for a little while. But
no,
thank you for listening.
It's good to always get it off your chest. Like, it's never good to hold it. And like what you just proved right there, like what we always prove on every episode, like, yeah, do we love AEW? Yeah, but of course, like you said before, even you went on your rant, is that they're not above reproach. And just because we have our criticisms of it, very fair and valid criticisms, because we watch the show every week, including Andy. Andy does watch the show every week. Like, he does watch the show every week, but it's like, we're watching every week. So our criticism of what we're seeing in front of our eyes, we're not pulling anything out of our asses or anything like that, just for the sake of, views or clicks or anything like that. Like, trust me, we could easily go that route if we want to, but you know what? No, we'll do it. We've been doing this for 83 plus episodes, so we know what we're doing. We know what our perspective is. And listen, it's like the famous boxing referee, George Jose Cortez, I think his name was. Yeah. For every fight, he would always say, "I'm fair, but I'm firm," and that's what we are right here with our criticism of AEW and anything we do watch. And you know what? Here's some fair criticism. Like, as much as we don't like the Fed, we don't like WWE, and you know what? I got to give them credit for. They for lately, the past year or so, they treat their women. I think their women have outshined the men easily. I mean, yeah. I could tell you right now, like Rhea Ripley and Io can be a main event night one in WrestleMania. Like, those two are fucking awesome. They had one of the matches of the year last year, that triple threat at Mania with them and Bianca as well. I saw it. It was an amazing match. Like, they have the talent, they have the storylines going to right now. Well, not all the way through, but they're definitely, I think, doing better than the men over there. So like, they're giving you a great example that if you give them invest the time and the effort, like they will take the ball and run with it. And there's no reason that AEW can't do it, because they have done it in the past. They have done it even before Tony Storm and Mariah May. They did it in the past with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa with their feud back in the day, and all the death matches between Penelope Ford, the Bunny, Ty Mello, and Anna Jay. Like they've done it before. So it just feels like, I think around maybe the past 6 months or so, they've kind of fallen back a little bit. They've taken a step back, whatever the issue is, like it ain't because of talent. Like I said, they're still signing people, which I have to think that there has to be some news along the horizon, like especially I think coming with Ring of Honor.
I hope so. I hope so. It's because, like, across like the average Dynamite and Collision, we're lucky if we get more than like 2 women's matches in that week, along with like other like segments and like promos and whatever else, or teasers. Like, but it feels like with the talent that they've got, like, something has to give in the sense of like 4 hours isn't enough for, like, considering how stacked their roster is, and when they keep adding to it, like that same 15 minutes every episode just isn't getting any bigger, but the talent pool kind of is. And like, there's been rumors that they're, Tony's thinking about like talking to, who is it? The Inspiration, is it? I saw that something was bubbling and underneath, but that's all well and good. Like, I'm all for like more talented women to like get work and to get a place on TV, but where is that place on TV? Because if you think about like all the champions that they've got, like the tags, the TBS and the women's world champion, like they're competing for the same core like 15 to 20 minutes max, like every episode. So like we're not get that, and that's why I feel like they've lumped like the champions like all together in this like core group. So unless they have plans to like actually give them more kind of segments and give them more like regular TV time to tell these stories and to build these programs, rather than just sort of having a revolving door of like people coming in, having an eliminator match, having like a mini 2-week feud, and then just going, fading into obscurity for like another couple of months. And then someone else comes in and does that until the title changes hands. But like the formula rarely changes. I think it's frustrating because I really want like the women to sort of be sort of recognized for what they are, because like there's so many like good talented like wrestlers on the roster, but it feels like they're just moving the goalposts every time. Like as soon as they start to like hit like a really good wave of momentum, it's like they fall backwards. And maybe the theory that it is like down to WBD like has some merit like to that, because Ring of Honor, like the average Ring of Honor show, there's loads of women's matches. On Dark there was like loads of women's matches, and it just feels like since this new TV deal has been in place, like we get the occasional, like it's a rarity, we get like 2 women's matches on any given episode, and we sort of celebrate that, but it feels like that's still good, but we need kind of way more than what we're getting.
More consistency, at least. If we are going to get the 2 women's matches like per show, then it has to be consistent. It can't be 1 week we get 2 and then the next 34 we get 1, or that doesn't get a lot of time, But no, I totally understand. Like that's one aspect like that I think we can all agree, especially if you're an avid AEW watcher like us, like that's a major change that needs to happen, sooner rather than later. But you talked about new additions to the roster, like we go back a couple weeks ago, I mean, when Tommaso Ciampa came in and that brilliant presentation, that theme song, like, I mean, I know it's stuck in my head. I know it's stuck in everyone else's
It's a
head.
banger.
Like, it's fucking banger. It's amazing. And like, listen, I understand, like, we don't want too many new additions, but it's like, I am a shooter for NXT Black and Gold. Like that kept me, that was really, no lie, like from mid to late 2010s, that's really the only WWE I was watching was NXT Black. I went to every NXT Black and Gold, like every takeover that was like New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania,
Northeast sort of way.
I even drove to Toronto that year. They did takeover Toronto. I mean, listen, at that time the best tag match I seen at that time was Revival and DIY 2 out of 3 falls match. I mean, that was amazing. So I was like, I've seen what Ciampa could do. So I was one of the people. Like, I was excited. I was like, I don't give a fuck anyone says it, that him and Briscoe have that match, like, amazing. And I was like, oh, shit, he beat him clean. And I love the presentation. I think the episode I did with Lucy that week where I'm like, oh, you don't know who the Psycho Killer is? Like, he fits AEW like a glove. Like him, I'm not, like, that's why I'm not shocked of him talking to the belt, talking to Sylvie, like, and I love the little, I don't know if you saw the online promo he cut on Kyle Fletcher, like, that basically he's gonna eat him alive. Like he's basically facing a different animal. Like, I can't wait to see that dynamic play out tomorrow night. how that should be. I mean, I think for storyline purposes, I think obviously Tommaso should win. It's way too soon for him to lose the belt because it's a better storyline progression if Kyle loses, then he goes to the back, and who's back there freaking disappointed? Okada, just like the shit stirrer that he is, and like it could be like Proto Okada no more or some shit like that. But
just go back to Ciampa real quick. Like I was skeptical at first because I was thinking again, like this whole thing, like the roster is really stacked already, and like there's only 4 hours of TV to fill. Like if they had two extra hours, which, as you alluded to earlier, like maybe that is in the works certainly for Ring of Honor, because like there has to be a method to the madness of like fleshing out the roster even more. So I'd like to think that's the case, but I was skeptical at first because I wasn't sure where Ciampa would fit. Like at first I was thinking, oh no, he'd be a good addition to Ring of Honor, because one of the things I've advocated for was having like a hard split between Ring of Honor and AEW, so you could actually, rather than have like Ring of Honor just sporadically appear on AEW TV as part of this revolving door, this carousel of like occasional challenges in eliminator matches for like titles and stuff. You have like a defined roster where you can start like developing talent like native to those shows, like what they've done with Athena. She's a perfect example, and Billy Starks to a point. Like it's a perfect example. So I was skeptical of Ciampa like not being like in that role, because he would have been perfect for it in my opinion. But the fact that he's come in, he's exceeded my expectations. Like I'm willing to just be proven wrong.
that finish of the triple threat match from Collision,
it was brilliant.
Oh my god! Like he came out of nowhere with that, hit Roddy with that knee, like, and even seeing like even minutes with him and Roddy, like that brought me back to, like I said, with the old DIY versus the oh my god, the Undisputed Era days.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was fucking great too. But I mean,
it was fantastic.
Before we even go, like that match right there, and Claudio, like this was so unnecessary. His entrance, like he already has so much aura when he when he comes out. He had the goddamn luchador mask. I'm like, goddamn, that's a fucking cheat code right there.
It's because he's got the CMLL title now, and his whole so it's kind of plays into that, which I liked it. Again, hopefully that's one of the many lucha masks we can possibly get with. I know Tony's got this NFL lucha mask sort of deal in the pipeline, but hopefully we can start getting like more lucha masks like off the back of that, because they're just such an easy merch item. Like you could just turn up to anywhere, any wrestling event in a lucha mask, and you already like get like, hey, who's that? You know, it's just good vibes all around. But you know, you mentioned like NXT Black and Gold. Like Tony's clearly a fan of NXT Black and Gold, isn't he? Because he's brought Ciampa back and he's brought Andrade back, and Andrade's fucking killing it at the moment. So I mean, he clearly is.
He's all over the fucking world right now, because I think he and Gabe Kidd are gonna have an unlimited match
tomorrow
soon,
night.
and the winner, tomorrow night, and I think the winner faces Suji at the New Beginning show later this month in New Jersey. I'm not glad. I'm considering going to that show. I've never been to a New Japan show, so. It definitely does look good, and shit, like I mean, Andrade and Kid is gonna be a good.
It should be wicked. It should be wicked. Like I mean, like Andrade he strikes me as someone like a bit like Ciampa. Like the shackles are well and truly off. Like he's allowed to sort of just run free, and Tony's just sort of said, just go and do what you do, and they're maximizing every fucking minute. So fair play. Like I mean, you know, this sort of leads into possibly what we could talk about shortly, is about you know, Dynamite coming up with, obviously for some reason, you know, Ciampa and Fletcher are fighting on Dynamite, but I think there is a reason for it, because obviously you would think that they would just announce it for Grand Slam, but Kyle said he wants to enter Grand Slam as TNT champion, get the hero's welcome that he deserves. So I think they're going to go to a time limit draw on Wednesday. I think the bell's going to ring. There's not going to be no clear winner, and they're going to announce a rematch at Grand Slam, maybe with a stipulation, maybe with like I don't know. But Grand Slam Australia is a 2.5 hour broadcast. I believe.
So I think they definitely need.
So there's room for one more match on there at least.
I think I only saw that there were 4 matches announced, and like I said, it's 2.5 hours. So I say it's Tony. He's gonna add probably 2 or 3 more matches to the card. But yeah, like I like that idea too. Time limit draw, and then you know what? I don't care. Like I would still have Ciampa win in Australia.
Oh yeah, no, it's too soon for him to lose the title. But I think
too soon. But I think like, you know, I want to see the reaction. I want to see if Okada like somehow gets involved, like to try to help Fletcher out. Does he help him? But he actually costs him the match, and does that set up a match for Revolution? Between Fletcher.
I have a theory about the Revolution angle with Fletcher and Okada. So you're absolutely right. I think they do a time limit draw on Wednesday. They do a rematch at Grand Slam. Ciampa wins, and then there's some kind of fallout. And I think Takeshita. Well, it could go either way. I think I'd like Takeshita to beat Mox personally, and then you actually do like a triple threat at Revolution: Okada, Fletcher, and Takeshita, because like it feels like Okada's just there, just trying to rub salt in the wound, trying to stir the pot, trying to sort of get. But Kyle's out there thinking. Takeshita's also like he sort of shrugged. He said he said to Kyle, didn't he? He's like he sort of like looked down and just walked away from him. So Kyle's conflicted, I think, at the moment, and maybe his loss, could play into that. He's not his head's not fully in the right space. So maybe this is it's sort of a way to blow off some steam, and we get like that. We can finally sort of start to draw a line between like Takeshita leaving the Callis family, Okada staying, and then where does Fletcher go from here? Like that would be a good use of his time, because I think in the nicest way, I think he needs to sort of be moving up the card. He needs to sort of be entering that main event picture this year, I think. And this would be a good sort of chance for that to not revolve around the TNT title, because, it's in a good spot right now. It's being defended regularly. It's in that sort of ideal position. So maybe this is a good chance. I do the triple threat at Revolution.
You know what? What's funny? Like, I like the idea of the triple threat, but it's funny. I had an idea for another triple threat that I think we could possibly see take form of tomorrow night, because we have the one-on-one segment with Swerve and Omega, and I had this feeling like we have the match between Hangman and Andrade on Saturday. Winner faces MJF, and I don't know if you agree with me. I think Andrade has to win. Andrade, you can't have Andrade eat a pin right now just with how hot he is, but it's how Hangman loses, like just how Swerve came in to try to like help, try to get revenge from Andrade, from the way how he lost to him, costing Omega the match. I wonder if Omega tries to do the same thing, like, try to cost Andrade the match, but in turn he costs Hangman the match, and all three of them, they got to beef with each other. So you could easily do a triple threat between Hangman, Swerve, and Omega, and like that
would be cool.
You could make it in a sense. That's a number one contender match right now. The winner could face either MJF or Andrade at Dynasty right there, and then all the hints and all the hints are like, okay, it's in Vancouver, it's in Canada. I mean, if you're gonna
is that an out? Is Dynasty in Canada?
Yeah, it's in Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
so I mean, if you're gonna do an Omega Championship match, you would think it would be at Dynasty. But I'm saying, like, you could possibly have those two triple threats going right there, because they all make sense, and it's like they all like, I mean, shit. Like, I would have been fine with Omega and I'll be fine with Omega and Swerve go 1-on-1 for Revolution. I won't be mad at that. But goddamn, imagine that triple threat.
The problem is that like, and didn't Meltzer say that there's possibly a conflict with Kenny's schedule for Revolution? So
I did hear that, but the fact that they're having this 1-on-1, like, they're having this 1v1 like talk tomorrow night, it's like, I understand. Listen, you have Capcom, you have things outside, but I'm like, dude, this is too big right here. Like, there was a possibility, I think it was like, this is going to be there till Friday, and the events, I think, is Sunday. I mean, I think we'll find out tomorrow night. We'll get our answer whether Omega's going to be at Revolution. Because here's the thing, also, no matches have been booked yet for Revolution.
No, but I think we can say we'll find out one of them tomorrow. I think we can safely say
well, definitely Saturday. Like, whoever wins between Andrade and Hangman faces MJF.
Yeah. I think Andrade. Touching on what you said, I think Andrade should beat Hangman. I agree, because I just want to see Andrade do his usual thing with Alicia Atu and just see MJF's response, just because that would be so. Imagine him just trying to get popping his number into Alicia's phone and just MJF just responding. They could tell some really cool stuff with that, I think. And Andrade's like super hot, as you say, like right now. It would be silly to deviate from that. Like Hangman's a trios champion anyway as well. So
Yeah.
I think, you know, it seems like they put the trios on Jet Speed and Hangman as a mean because of what was going on with Hobbs to get the title off of him because he's going to go to the Fed. So maybe like that could be that should be a direction personally, because you know I want the trios titles to sort of not just sort of be what they've been doing for like the last couple of months and just sort of be fodder. But that again, that's another issue for another day perhaps. But another match what I think we can guarantee is going to get confirmed for Revolution is taking place tomorrow, because we got the triple threat tag, haven't we? We've got the Bucks, Rascals and the Wild Card. So on this day we see clearly that we are going to get exactly what we expected. You know, I think we're going to get Cope and Christian returning on Wednesday, and I think that's going to set up FTR and Cope and Christian for Revolution, and that's when I think Cope and Christian win the belts, and then they'll go into Dynasty, which is, as you say, in Canada as champions against and I think, you know, it's pretty much the end of Cope's sort of run. I think we're sort of entering the twilight bit of it. I don't know how long Christian feasibly has left, but that's I think a pretty much a lock for Revolution, I'd say.
I want to say, I think with Cope, I think he came in with a 3-year deal, so this is his 3rd year.
Yeah.
So I think
there's probably some injury time on top of that because
Well, I mean, that's up to him if he wants to add. But I was gonna say, they win the belts next month, and then you go on that one final run, and then whenever it happens, we need that match against the Young Bucks. I don't care if they're both faces or ones. It doesn't matter, because that's just a match right there. Like, say what you want about, you know, how Cope moves at this age. Like, you're going in there with the Bucks. Like, they're gonna make them look like
of course they will
$1 million. Like, no pun intended.
But I think they should do that at Wembley personally, because I think Wembley is a big place. They haven't even announced tickets on sale, so they kind of really need to get the ball moving.
So let me ask you. I think HBO Max is going to be coming to England right soon.
I believe so. I don't really know the full ins and outs of when or how, but I believe that's the plan. Yeah.
Because you know, let's keep an eye on that. Like, if there are any hints of that announcement. Like, let's say if it is coming soon within the next couple months, I wouldn't be surprised if they like do a joint announcement, like HBO Max coming to like the UK, coming to England, and then hey, guess what? Also, tickets are on sale for all the women, and then they announce like a crazy like introductory like price if you want to buy it on HBO Max, or if you are an HBO Max subscriber, maybe you get a discount or something on tickets. I think it's going to coincide with the ticket announcement and the announcement of HBO Max.
I hope so.
In England, but
I mean, they just need to announce something soon, because you know,
so the reason I think
by this time they had like 30 odd thousand tickets sold. So
I wonder if the reason they haven't announced yet, because they want as much ticket sales like for Revolution and Dynasty first before they add another event. You know, I mean, obviously the large crowd is going to be like obviously home based in UK and whatever, you know, the surrounding countries as well. But that's a theory on it as well. But yeah, we'll get a few matches for Revolution.
I think that so MJF. I mean, you know, I loved the Brody King MJF squash. Like, I thought that was brilliant. But you know, Grand Slam, we're going to get like a competitive match out of it. I think we're going to get like a proper rematch, and that's when I think, you know, talking of wild theories, since we're riding this wave, let's just go all out and have a bit of a wild fun with it. MJF and Brody King, I think that's when we get Buddy Matthews come back. It's in Australia. It's almost a year to the day since he got injured, and by all accounts, like looking at like his Instagram and stuff, he seems to be moving quite well. So maybe even if he's not fully ready and he just does like an appearance, I would have Buddy Matthews cost Brody King the match, and you know, turn up in Australia 1 year to the day, and him saying, "Brody, where the hell were you, man? Like, you won the tag titles with Bandido. That was meant to be our thing." And then you do the Bandido or the Brodido, and like maybe Buddy sides with MJF. I don't know, maybe, but I think, you know, do that feud. But Buddy has to be a heel. He's one of the most natural heels. Yeah. Like, he's great as a face. Don't get me wrong, but I want to see him back, and yeah, that would kind of give Brody a reason not to beat MJF. MJF can get by, you know, with the skin of his teeth, and then it gives Brody something to sink his teeth into, because feels like that's a calling. It makes sense because it's in Sydney and it's feel like
And
that needs to happen.
I like the idea. I don't want like it to be like where MJF is involved in like Buddy, getting involved in the match. I'd rather it be like just Buddy on his own. I don't want it to be like MJF paid him off for ass or anything like that, because that wouldn't fit Buddy at all. Like, no, it's the easiest story to tell. Like, he's been out for over a year. In that year's time, like you said, Brody, he became a tag team with with Bandito, the whole Brodito bit, tag team champions. Like I said, that should have been them, but injuries got in the way. But like, you were my brother, but you found someone else to take my place. And I want, cost on the match, and then I want a post match beatdown where get right Brody off of TV like for a few weeks and whatnot. And guess what? Have Bandito, come in to defend Brody's honor, and then guess what? Revolution match right there. Bandito and Buddy. Right there, and like don't rush the eventual match between Brody and Buddy. Like I would want Bandito, the first one, to get the crack at Buddy to defend Brody's honor and whatnot, and of course Buddy has to win that match. Like Bandito could suffer a loss, which is fine, like storyline wise, and then don't just beat him, fucking decimate him. Like I've seen, bloody him up, like try to attempt to and try to look like you're about to take off his mask, and then that's when Brody comes back for the save, and then you start the feud and start building up the next pay-per-view match right there.
Yeah.
Like, that would be perfect.
It's a perfect way to reintroduce Buddy back to AEW TV. Like he's one of the he's one of the better ones on the roster for me. Like he's so good. Like people sort of slag him off a little bit, and I don't get why, because he's so good in the ring. Like he moves so fluidly, and it's a perfect place to do it. Another one, I don't know if it's I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I'm clearly going to set myself up for disappointment, because I know that if by saying this out loud, it will never come true. Secretly, I hope it does. But I talk about like Takeshita and Mox, like that's one match that's announced, which should be a banger. Don't get me wrong. But Takeshita, at the end of this, Takeshita reignites the Okada thing, and we got the Fletcher link there as well. So I would do that. But Moxley, if he walks away the winner, he needs another challenger. And who in canon wrote this guy off TV back in like the spring of last year? Switchblade Jay White. I mean, bring fucking Switchblade Jay White back. That's a match at Revolution if he's fit and healthy. Moxley versus Jay White. And Jay White should win, and the Death Riders should turn on Moxley, and then we could finally put to bed this whole sort of ignoring that that Mox is suddenly a babyface. He should be a babyface because it's fucking Mox, because he's an absolute demon. But the Death Riders should not be babyfaces.
No, they shouldn't. And listen, I understand, with the whole like Mox is a babyface, but the rest aren't. I understand like just the sudden switch on a switch right there with Mox. I understand. He cut one promo, but it's like, God damn it! I'm sitting at home watching that promo. I'm like, fuck, man, he got me, man. It's like for that moment, for that promo, I forget. I was like, all right, I forgive him for all the evil shit. Like I'm sounding like Lucy right now, but like I was like, fuck, man, he just hits, man. It's just goddamn. He is the heartbeat of this company.
Oh, he is. But it's like just Claudio's just there like, nah, fuck you, man. You gone soft. Just obliterate him. Just write him off like for a couple of months. Like my man needs a vacation. I'm sorry. He's been there near enough every week, like just putting a shift in.
Wasn't it like last month or a couple months ago? I remember I think Renee put on her Instagram whatever that they went to Disney World, and Mox is just like the most out of place person in in Disney World. But that. I mean, you would think that him being a girl dad would like soften him up. I mean, you know what? No, let me see. It probably does. Like that's probably him off camera and whatnot. He's probably like the softest dude off the camera, like him being a girl dad. But yeah, but I understand the criticisms there. Like how just
I'm only messing really. It's just like it's a TV show. Like I can take it like at face value. Like I will just I'm happy to just sort of sit back and like see what happens, like of course, but it feels like they've dangled the carrot there, like make something happen, like don't just sort of pretend like it's not. Maybe if that is if they do go sort of something like this route where they were just waiting for the right time, waiting for the right moment, then fine, but it feels like it's been a longer time than usual. So but I mean, just in terms of canon, in terms of storyline, like Jay White was written off TV. I know he had to get time off anyway. He got injured. He had to have shoulder surgery and stuff like that. But he came back at Wrestle Kingdom to see off Tanahashi. So, and he's walking around okay. He seemed to be walking pretty fine to me. So Jay White, attacking Moxley after the match, set up Revolution, say, look, I haven't forgotten what you fuckers did. And then, I don't know, there's been murmurings about like Bullet Club. Bullet Club's no longer a thing in Japan.
But I mean, you got a couple of the war dogs here. I mean,
well, this is it.
I gotta be honest. Like with Gabe Kidd at first, I wasn't so much into Gabe Kidd, but I will admit that over the past year, and even the little bits of like inclusion with the Death Riders here and there, he's grown on me. I mean, and also even Clark Connors, like the couple of weeks that he's been like
brilliant.
back and forth with Darby, I'm like, him and Gabe Kidd fit perfectly. That fucking scene when they took him out to the desert and whatnot. I mean, it's like I feel like every year though, like Darby gets kidnapped and dragged. Like it's like
Darby,
it's the Groundhog moment. It's the Groundhog Day moment of AEW. Like every fucking year he gets dragged and kidnapped. Like I think it was Drainmaker who showed the clip on Twitter of like when Team Taz first formed. Like it was Taz driving
threw
away
him in the bag, didn't they?
Yeah, throw him in the bag and like friggin' Ricky Starks and Brian Cage like just zipped him up and bam, drove off into the night. It happens every year, so he's used to it by now.
Have you seen Darby? He weighs about like 60 kilos. It's like you could just grab him. It's like grabbing a branch off a tree. So easy. You just wrap him up in like cling film and just like throw him. I mean, he'll still spring back to life. He's a bit like Kenny from South Park. He'll go through some kind of like major trauma and then just show up the next week being like, I'm not dead. What are you gonna do next?
I tell you what, so like it's been a couple of weeks now that Darby's been like outnumbered by Kidd and Connors. Like he needs help, and I tell you right now, like a certain son of a Hall of Famer has been on the Ring of Honor Dark circuit recently. Like who better else to help? Like Sting, he's retired. He can't do anything at this point. Like I mean, the son of Sting, Steve Borden, comes to help out Darby.
It feels like a natural move, doesn't it? And did you see like they've licensed like Sting's old music, haven't they? Like from his Blade Runner days.
I think it was from his Surfer days.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think it was the one right before the Man Called Sting. Like I remember that one, the one that a lot of people say is bad, but I like it. It's a catchy tune.
That's all right.
He's like, he does this, he does that.
It just reminds me of the Outrunners, so I like it.
So. As a cat. Like I don't know, I it felt right for the time and for his character, so I thought it was right. But, But before we keep going though, I feel like we have to touch on I forget which podcast it was that Ricochet was on not too long ago. I think it was with Adrian Hernandez's podcast in which now he said this he was trending for like almost a week plus, in which he said that his time on the WWE, specifically on the main roster, like was tarnished his legacy. At the time.
He said he hated it. He said he hated it.
He's like almost 6 years. I think he was on the main roster. He was signed for
that
WWE,
long?
And
so that long, really?
Yeah, I think he started there January 2018, and obviously went till summer 2024. And yeah, he said his time on the main roster, like he didn't enjoy it. He didn't. He felt like it tarnished his career, and all the discourse online, you would think like how dare you say that? You should be grateful. How dare you say that about your time in WWE? Like how the fuck are you going to hear about someone's experience in a workplace that you never stepped in, that you never walked in, that you never had to work with on a personal daily basis, and tell that person that they're wrong for feeling how they feel? Like I think at the end of the day we forget that no matter what promotion you work for, like wrestling is a job, and guess what, a lot of people just don't like where the fuck they work, no matter how good the benefits are, no matter how good the pay is, no matter how good the exposure is. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Like wrestling fans, like we know the most about absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. We claim to be the smartest fans out there, but in the end, like we don't know jack shit about 99.9. Besides us here in this podcast, of course, but 95% of the time, like we really don't know what the fuck we know. I mean, like how are you gonna look at what Ricochet talks about his experience in the promotion, that he was there for 6 fucking years, and say he's wrong for feeling like that. Like, dude, it's his fucking life, it's his career. So I think if anyone has a right to speak on it, it's the man living the career, and not us who are just sitting back in our chairs just watching the show. And I saw somebody say, what you did in WWE is the reason why Tony Khan picked you up in AEW. I guarantee you this. More so what he did before WWE is why Tony Khan picked up. Because, do we forget about his time in, PWG, New Japan, Chikara, Lucha Underground? We forget that's Prince motherfucking Puma right there. We talk about wrestlers who are so influential on today's young superstars. Ricochet is one of those top guys who is, you could see his influence around today's up and coming high flyers. I mean, whether they're going to say it out loud or not, we see it on a consistent basis. Don't tell me you don't see guys like Leon Slater or Javon Evans or, just so many other guys I could think of at the top of my head. And you don't think man, I've seen those same spots are similar, from Ricochet back, like I said, it's PWG days, or Chikara, or Lucha Underground, or stuff like that. I mean,
you have to remember as well, a lot of these fans who are calling him out and having a problem with him trashing their favorite promotion is that invariably they're very young, and so they probably only got into wrestling when Ricochet was probably on the main roster. So that's the only exposure of him, but they haven't got the capacity or the intelligence to go on YouTube and actually find out that actually he has had plenty of amazing matches, and he was a standout. He there was a bit before he was even signed to to WWE, was when he and Ospreay had that match in Japan, which broke the internet, and it sent fucking, rest his soul, because he was great. Vader, it sent Vader into a tailspin to the point where RevPro, this is a true story, they actually booked Vader versus Will Ospreay on because Ospreay and Vader got into a little bit of a spat in response to it. But they actually booked a show. It's true, genuinely, it's a true story. They booked Vader versus Will Ospreay at a RevPro show. So, but the point is, that he was doing some truly groundbreaking stuff before he even set foot in WWE, and Black and Gold, he was of that sort of ilk where essentially Triple H just signed a shitload of indie guys and just booked them on a pay-per-view and just let them go, which is, it's for a lot of people, that's their first exposure to him. And again, there is this sort of which I'll never understand. There is this sort of blind loyalty to, to their 3 favorite letters, where anybody who dares say a bad word against them is the enemy, and it's symptomatic of a problem that that kind of crowd has. It's very pro MAGA. Everything's a competition. Everything is very much they have to win. They have to win by trying all the time and showing loyalty and everything like that. It's a problem, but it's too hard to unravel. But the point is that people who have no life experience, who are still sort of just searching for some meaning to their existence, just throwing shit at Ricochet just for him actually speaking his truth and just telling his story. It just feels, it's just let him talk, man. I mean, fair play. He's probably one of the only few who actually would. It fits in with his character and his Twitter gimmick and all that kind. It fits in with him just being who he is as a character. But even so, he's one of the few to actually tell the truth. I'm sure there are plenty of others who had really bad experiences who are afraid of coming forward in favor of not getting a callback.
And I'll give you a couple other names, like Ricochet said that WWE ruins legacies, it ruined his legacy, and I saw he brought up Sami Zayn's name as well, Finn Balor. I'll give you a couple other names right now, which is why I will never forgive Triple H for ruining these guys when he took over. I thought he was going to push these guys to the moon. These were his NXT Black and Gold babies, but when he came up now, I look at them on Raw last night. What the fuck are they doing? They're wearing a lucha mask, and that's fucking Pete. That's fucking Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. They're fucking in. They're in fucking. They're doing luchador gimmicks. I'm like, I'll be honest, like my first exposure to them was the UK tournament that they did
Yeah,
in WWE back in 2017, 2018. Like the final, when they were in the finals.
yeah,
I mean, that match was good. That match was great, but like Tyler Bate was working an injury angle, I think on his hand or his
yeah,
shoulder, but still great. But then when they had their rematch in Takeover Chicago,
yeah.
that's a top 10 match for me all time.
Oh,
Because I
it's unreal. It's unreal. But
yeah.
they were having stuff like that regularly. Like
Hmm.
I saw them at like local shows in like Progress and a couple times, like while the sort of when the UK scene was really like like really really hot, like hotter than it is now, like massively. You couldn't go to a Progress show without it selling out. You couldn't. You'd be lucky if you even got past like the tickets, like the first barrier of entry online and stuff. But Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate would always, show up, and they'd always like deliver like invariably like the match of the night. And it's sad to see, like, because they're capable of so much more, and like they'd fit like a glove in AEW. Like, I'm sorry, like they would. They would absolutely be treated with like a bit more, a bit more respect, a bit more. They'd actually let them be themselves. And there was a bit, wasn't there? Like for a while, like because when Pete, I'm thinking Pete Dunne specifically because I'd sort of zoned out of WWE by this point, but he was brought up to the main roster, and then they gave him like a Peaky fucking Blinders gimmick, with a stupid name, and then. But then a couple of years later,
Yeah.
like they just brought him back. They brought his old music, they brought his old presentation, they brought everything, his old gear, and then since then they've just changed him back to luchador, and it's like okay, you clearly don't. They clearly don't value him. He's not going to be like that top guy. He's not kind of they don't see him like that. But fucking hell, man, just at least just let him go because he's a talented wrestler. Like yeah, they both are. They could both just have
Yeah.
like quality matches. Like I'll never understand that, but that's it's Vince 101 to be honest.
I feel like you say it's Vince 101, and then I ask any WWE fans watching, it's like, what are the major differences between how Vince ran the show, how Triple H runs the show? If we're being 100% honest, because when I look at a
Yeah.
lot of the big stars that they're pushing right now, I mean Cody, Roman, Punk. I'm
Mm.
sure Jacob Fatu would be the same. I mean, anybody in the Samoan family, pretty much. Like, who is he pushing or who is he elevating that Vince wouldn't have done? I feel like he would have. They are pushing the same type of talents or the same type of top guys that either one would have done. I mean, it's like when you still have a whole bunch of guys in creative, like like a Bruce Pritchard and a oh my God. Yeah, Bruce Pritchard and a couple of the other older guys there, like, yeah, Vince may not be there in figure, but in spirit, a lot of his influence is still there in the WWE product today. So, that's why I just don't see
Yeah.
a lot of major difference in how the shows ran.
Like,
And
is he
then that's
really
why,
gone?
recently I feel like in physical form he is, but in spirit, no. At least that's the way I see it. But yeah, the less talking about it, the better. I mean, yeah, like so. Just one last thing before we head out. We'll cut it short. Like I did a video last week talking about the mixed tag match for Grand Slam. Tony Storm and Cassidy versus Yuta and Marina Shafir, and I was dead set thinking it was definitely going to be Wheeler getting his hair cut. But the more I think about it since then, it's too easy. It's too simple. I think it's going to be one of the women. I think it's going to be Shafir or Tony Storm, and I'm going to call it right now. I think it's going to be Tony Storm. I think
Okay.
Tony Storm is going to get her head shaved in her home country in front of her
Oh
friends
dang.
and family because I think like this is a match where you need like a holy shit moment, like just a viral moment. Like, I mean, there's times where viral moments are necessary for a promotion, and oh my God. And I especially look at the promo that she cut this past Wednesday night, after the squash match, like I love my hair, like, and then she's making these bold, like if I look like a ugly penis, and then you have Luther standing right next to her, and like she looks at him, and
Yeah.
like I I think she's gonna get her head shaved in this Saturday night, and like I
Wow.
hope that how do you say, like she pulls like a Kurt Angle when he tried wrestling in a wig for like the next coming weeks, like just a different like comedic week
Oh
like every
God.
time, but it falls off mid match, and whatnot. Like Tony, like she seems like batshit crazy enough where she would go to Tony Khan and be like, "Let it be me, like shave my fucking head in front of everyone."
I can't vision it. I can't like picture it in my head. Like, but
Yuta
I
is
mean,
Yuta's too easy. It's too easy
it's too
for
obvious,
it to be
isn't
Wheeler.
it?
It's too obvious. It's like the fact that they teased it a few weeks ago, and Marina. I remember looking at Wheeler like, oh, you gonna look ugly. And then this past I think it was Wednesday or Saturday, like when Tony was talking to Mox on commentary. I think it was on Collision, and then you had that shot of Marina looking at Mox like pointing like, oh shit, that might be my future.
Oh my god!
I think Marina can pull it off. I think she would look fucking badass in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, you wouldn't, it's one of them. Like Yuta kind of strikes me as the one, like as you say, like it's too obvious, it's too much of a dead giveaway. It would certainly be a shocking moment to think like, if like Tony just got pinned, and then we actually realized like, oh my god, like they're actually going to go with that. It's a bold move, but
every pinfall is going to be scary as fuck, like especially with the women, like.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I think Marina could. Yeah, you're right. She could pull it off. It's a bit like the, it would fit with the Death Riders mold because like half of them are bald, like 3/4 of them are bald.
Yeah.
So it would fit with that. But you again, like they, he's grown his hair out. He looks like I don't know what the breed of dog is, but they just look like. They got curtains in front of their eyes. Like it feels like that can't be safe to wrestle in all the time.
No.
Like,
but yeah, like I said, there's gonna be a lot of tension with that match from the crowd. Like,
yeah. When they start hitting like the false finishes and like the finishing moves and everything, like everyone's going to be on the edge of their seat, I reckon. But yeah, it should be good. Like, I mean, just speaking of the like women really quickly, like just while we wrap up, is about. Do you think, like, because obviously we got another match, we got another 2 matches, one on Dynamite, which is Tekla and Statlander in a strap match for the women's title, and then we got like the women's tags, Babes of Wrath and Megan and Penelope. Do you have any bold predictions for these?
I think the original plan was Megan and Penelope going to be the inaugural champs before Penelope got hurt.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think they're going to win the titles on Saturday. And fuck it, I say tomorrow night, make the switch.
Yes.
I say go with Tekla. Like I don't want her losing 2 championship matches like back to back.
No. This to me, I agree with you. It feels like having her lose again would feel like a real like slap in the face because she's one of the best like currently. Like she's done really really well at getting over organically with like the American audience, and I would say it doing a strap, it feels like you can sort of protect Statlander a little bit with a loss because it's not one of those ones where you have to touch all 4 corners, is it? And you actually it's pinfall or submission only, isn't it, as well?
No, strap matches is pinfall submission. I think you're thinking of a bull rope match.
I'm thinking of bull rope. Okay, yeah. That's my mistake.
I remember it was like Batista and Bradshaw had one. Yeah, you got to touch all 4 corners in a bull rope. Strap? No, you're just beating the shit out of each other.
You're just beating the shit out of each other. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Well, either way, it does still sort of protect Statlander a little bit by but yeah, fuck it. Put the belt on Tekla and then put the women's tags on Megan and Penelope because I think you're right. I think that was the original plan, but it got derailed. So they went with Harley and Willow as the sort of next best thing, and it makes sense. It kind of makes sense because that they should be, they should be the champions because Penelope's like was doing some of the best work of the entire roster. Like all of like last year pretty much. Like I forgot like how good she was like when she started coming back and just having like amazing matches. Like it was I fact that how good we was.
The fact that their tag finisher is the Doomsday device is fucking dope.
That's it.
It's a perfect one. But so actually, one more thing before we go. We had breaking news yesterday that Double or Nothing will be coming to my backyard in New York City at Louis Armstrong Stadium, which is actually right across from Arthur Ashe Stadium. Like it's under renovation for a couple of years, but it's a beautiful venue. Like another tennis stadium, a retractable roof as well. Like so,
nice.
It's gonna be an amazing show, and dude, awesome. I can't wait.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I
go
was going
ahead.
to say, do you think that they're going to do something with Zoran Mamdani,
Mamdani, yeah.
sorry.
Oh, I would hope so. I would love to. Like, you bring that up now. I think it was earlier last month. Somebody, I think it was this girl, Emma, I follow on Twitter. Great follow, by the way. She put like a joke to saying like, Donnie just put into law that all New York citizens have to watch the entire Omega and
Omega
Okada
Okada.
series
Yeah,
like
I saw
chronologically.
that. That's
Like,
quality.
I mean, listen, like when Zoran was running for mayor last year, that clip of him at the first Grand Slam watching
Yeah,
Omega and Danielson went viral. Like, so we know he's a wrestling fan. We know he watches AEW. So I mean, yeah, like get him in there, like as like a grand marshal or something for the event. Like just have him in
just
there,
do
like on the
something.
big screen in the suites, like just with there with his wife and whatnot. And yeah, man, listen, for our first New York City pay-per-view in Mamdani stand, I love
Yeah,
it. It's gonna be fucking great. And you
that's
know
going to
what?
be wicked because it's on a bank holiday for us in
One
the UK as well.
tie-in with Double or Nothing. We always know Double or Nothing is always where the finals for the Owen tournament takes
Yep.
place. We saw a vignette for Will Ospreay. That is
Mm-hmm.
not an accident. I think he's gonna be coming back sooner rather than later.
Yep.
Maybe he comes back at Revolution, and they always kick off the tournament around Dynasty.
Yeah,
Around
they start
Dynasty,
doing the
so I
matches
think
around
he's
there,
coming
don't
back
they?
within the next couple months. I mean, and he'll be in that Owen, and if he's in that Owen final,
Yeah.
I don't want to go down that far, but oh man, I fucking
Oh
need
no, it feels written in the stars. It feels like Osprey's in the Owen. He's winning the Owen, and he's going to Wembley, hopefully to fight MJF for the title
I
and
don't
winning it.
know. I
I
mean,
mean, this
the
is long
Omega
term
Dream is
predictions.
alive.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, we talked about Cope and Christian and the Young Bucks being,
But you know what? Hold on, I'm sorry, real quick. Like, yeah, the Omega Dream's alive, but there's another dream alive out there because a certain phenomenal one is not retired.
no,
Like,
he's not retired.
it's like, what do you do? Like, if Omega doesn't win the title, you gotta do Omega. You gotta do Omega Styles at Wembley. I mean,
yeah, but I mean,
shit.
yeah. That would shift some tickets, like for sure. It's really quickly, like whilst because I had a half a mind to ask this if we got on the topic, but outside of those two, so the AJ and Omega and AJ and Osprey, if he comes, like
Yeah.
if that is, if there is every chance, like which I do think there is. I don't think we can rule it out at this point. Who is the other dream match that you have for AJ Styles? Like, one dream match that you want him to have with. There's a list of like so many like potential good ones, but if you had to pick one, what would be the first one you book? Like outside of Omega and Osprey.
Oh man. In a perfect world, I would love it if when he comes in, however long his contract goes, if it's the same duration as Samoa Joe's, because he says he's on his final contract. And how cool would it be if they both decide like, yo, let's have our final matches together, like a double retirement match.
Okay.
Like Joe versus AJ. But if I were to pick someone that I don't think AJ has ever stepped in the ring with on this roster, I mean, it's a couple I could bring, but oh my god, how fun would an AJ and Bandito match would be like? And then, but
again, there's so many that
I mean,
it's hard to pick
Fletcher,
just one.
there's Takeshita, and then fuck, another Okada match is there too. Like, I mean, but pew pew to my head, like. Give me an AJ and Kyle Fletcher match, like that would be
that'd be wicked. Like there's a lot of roots there rooted in like Brit Rest because when AJ was on the Indies, like Kyle Fletcher was just starting out, like he was just started coming through the ranks, so they did cross over a little bit. But now that they're an entirely different beast. So for me, I think I'm in the same boat. Like AJ MJF like alone, AJ Andrade. Like I mean, we haven't touched on that. AJ and again, there's so many.
AJ and Hook for Andy.
Oh, don't. don't. I know we joke about it with Andy,
AJ
but
versus
even
Serpentico.
Oh no! Well, no. Now you're just offending Lucy.
AJ versus John Cruz.
Oh no! I'd like that.
Yeah.
No, do you know what? Give me one more because there's no way he's retired. I refuse to believe it. Give me one more. AJ versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh yeah, Bryan Danielson. I don't give a fuck what he says. He ain't retired. He learned how to lie from Cody. So no,
he's also said like the other day, like Cope gave him his physical therapist number, and he said he's worked absolute wonders on his neck. So I don't know, man. Just take that what you will. There's no way he's done fully. Like he's got a couple matches in him still. I refuse to believe it.
If he was like able to get good for like one more match, like if he has like just one match left in the tank, I just brought up Double or Nothing is literally not technically Arthur Ashe Stadium, but it's right adjacent to it. If let's just say he has one more match, he wants to do one more match like and end on good terms. If Omega's not in the championship picture right there, his first match in AEW was Omega, and how fitting would it be like his final match?
Yeah,
is Omega. Like I said, it's not Arthur Ashe, but it's right adjacent to it. It's the same area, same facility. Like, and when that match does, I'm gonna try my best whenever he does announce his final match, that being Bryan Danielson. Yeah, I will try to move heaven and earth to be there. Yeah. He kept me in wrestling in the late 2000s, like when WWE was just absolute shit. It was fucking horrible. Like when he came along in WWE, like, I mean, obviously I've seen a little bit on Ring of Honor, in the Indies before, but when he came to WWE, I'm like, all right, yeah, this guy's keeping me along for a little bit. Him and what Punk were doing in the early 2010s was keeping me around, and
he's the greatest wrestler in the world for me, like hands down.
He's on my Mount Rushmore, like, but as Brett is my GOAT, Hitman is my GOAT, Danielson is the most important wrestler for me in my fan, because like I said, he kept me around. He kept me around this long to where I am now. Like I said, if and whenever his final match is announced, I will be there, and I will need a few packs of tissues because I will cry my heart out whenever his whenever the final countdown hits. Oh god,
this is it. We've seen it with we know that was Cena's last match.
Yeah,
despite our feelings about the outcome and whatever else.
But just look at what we have going in the next couple of years. AJ, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson. I mean,
Kenny Omega might not be around for a huge amount longer.
Adam Copeland, Christian Cage. You don't know.
Yeah, you just don't know.
It's I say while they're here, just whatever the plans are. That's why enjoy the ride while it lasts, man.
Yeah, give me all the dream matches.
Exactly, man. We're living the dream. But damn, I love how we said let's go half an hour, and we're almost at an hour.
Twice as long.
That's why I said sometimes the best plan is no plan. At all. So I think that's a good place to close episode 83 of the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. Please follow us on Twitter, GW Podcast UK. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well, GW Podcast UK, to follow us for weekly uploaded clips from every episode. And please watch the recent special that Lucy and our friend of the show Alyssa did for the most previous Eve Riot pay-per-view show. We're gonna try to do this on a regular basis. Both ladies, they knocked it out of the park, which is no surprise to us as well. And yes, also support. Please give a shout out to TNT Wrestling as well on Instagram, X, and TikTok as well. I'm deep diving in there right now. I'm going to do more react videos of those going forward.
Good man.
But that'll be it from us. I am that ball bro. My friend Dan here from across the pond. We are the Group Chat Wrestling Podcast. Goodbye and good night. Bang. AJ versus Hook. Book it.